The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. What's up guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Had Ragna's Powers. This is part 6. In the last part, Izuku just arrived to Class 1A alongside his brother Jin and meets with, Ochiko, Ida, and even notices that Kyoka is also in the class as well. And there, they also deal with Aizawa, who plans on giving them a quirk evaluation test, with the last one being expelled. With that said, let's get into this, shall we? As Izuku basically says, then I got nothing to worry about. After saying this, Ida says, then why do you say that? I mean, don't you think that this is worrying? As he says, I took the recommendation exam. This is all basically the same thing that I went through. And not only that, being the second time, I'll be more prepared. Well, all I gotta say is, good luck guys, and hope you don't get expelled. As he begins thinking, this is bullshit. Why would we be expelled so easily after this? Something's not up. There has to be some hidden agenda behind all of this. As everything goes through canon, and however, Izuku does way much better. Not only that he's prepared more, he also has a lot more strength, especially since he feels more arrogant since he has the BlazBlue. And the 10-meter dash, he's not as fast as Ida, but he still runs pretty damn quickly, which he doesn't get last place in. His speed time is that of 4.3 seconds, which is pretty good for now. And the grip test, he actually outmatches Kirishima, since he's only using one arm in the process, and using the darkness of Soul Eater as well. Not only that, Kirishima gets third in this one instead of first, mostly because the girl with the squirrel tail gets second. Not only that, in the high jump, Izuku just gets basic, doesn't get too much. He creates a giant monster head to propel him in the air, to increase his speed and repel him in the air, where he gets at least 5 meters, and does pretty well in that one as well. And inside the side jumps, he's not as high in that one anyway. But when it came to all the others, he does pretty well. Gets first in at least a couple of them anyway. All that was left was the ball throw. And seeing that Uraraka got infinite, he doesn't know if he can get infinite as well. Probably hoping that he at least can get second. Thinking to himself, let's do this. He takes a deep breath and raises his right arm, being his prosthetic arm, hoping that he can activate the BlazBlue. And activated just like that, as darkness begins swarming all around him, as everyone feels a little bit terrified seeing how much power this guy that Izuku has. And even Aizawa was about to stop it. As soon as Izuku was about to throw the ball, Aizawa stopped his quirk. With that, he began to wonder, wait, what the hell? What? That should have been gone by now. As he says, what the hell was that? And he says, what? Your quirk. Last time I checked, you were gotten to school because a certain teacher allowed you into this school through recommendation. Normally, we only allow 4 participants. 2 in Class 1A and 2 in Class 1B. You're the exception. Your quirk is something twisted, something similar to that of a villain. So I want to know, what is your quirk? Deku gets pissed off that, seriously, he's a teacher and he doesn't. As he began realizing his eyes were glowing and his hair was standing up, and not only that, the scarf as well, and realized, wait a minute, you're Shota Aizawa, otherwise known as Eraserhead, the Erase Hero. You can nullify a person's quirk just by looking at them. Holy crap, I'm a huge fan, man. As it says, don't change the subject, tell me. And as Izuku said, seriously, okay, fine. Shouldn't you know about my quirk? I mean, I listed on my entrance forms. Well, shouldn't you? Why are you more worried about my quirk than anything else? As he says, okay then, I guess you are pretty perceptive. I'm worried about your quirk because I know you can absorb people's life force. You can drain them dry and basically, and even to the point of killing them. A quirk like that is too dangerous to allow. I think Principal Nezu may have made a wrong mistake allowing somebody like you into this school. Soon after, so I want you to use your quirk, but without draining anybody's energy. As he soon asked, anyone in this class feels weakened or somewhat dizzy? As everyone began saying, no, we're not tired, Mr. Aizawa. I mean, we're all doing okay. Everyone soon agrees as well, and some of them even nodded their heads. Kyoka soon sees Izuku, thinking, that's his quirk? But he's so kind. I don't think he would ever do something like that. Soon after, he says, okay then, so you didn't drain anybody's life force, but still, I'll be watching you, Midoriya. Take your throw and do what you need to do. As he says, soon after realizing this, his BlazBlue was deactivated, realizing that he can't even use it anymore now. Thinking that he just ruined his one shot at beating him, getting the highest score in the ball throw. As he says, fine, I guess I just gotta do it the normal way. Soon after, he creates a giant claw, just like his basic giant claw, and extends it all the way to the air, releasing the ball in the process. Doing this gives him a high point in the process, with him getting at least 600 meters in the air. And as I was saying, so that's the best you can do. I thought I expected a little bit better. As Izuku saying, you son of a bitch! I was trying to give it my all, but you stopped me. What the hell is wrong with you? Come on! As he said, oh, that's the case then. I'll make sure not to. But if you use your quirk on anyone here in the class, without permission, I will expel you right off the spot. As Izuku saying, seriously? Now even my own teachers are treating me like a villain, and I just got here. He gets back in line as everyone's surprised hearing about Izuku's quirk and abilities. As everyone takes a little break, and soon Aizawa shows their test results. As the one who got the lowest points being Kyoka Jiro, and saying that she'll be expelled. As she's surprised hearing this, thinking, I guess I never had a chance to begin with. She begins feeling sad, and as Izuku says, wait, hold up, you can't just expel her just like that. You know this was rigged from the start. As Shoto says, what was that, Midoriya? Jin says, I agree. This was rigged from the very beginning. This was only for those who had physical quirks who would do well in an exam like this. quirks that weren't made for combat, physical enhancement, or other circumstances would have gone lower in the first place, or never even had a chance to begin with. If anything, you were hoping for something like this to begin with. Izuku's surprised that his own younger brother is sticking up for him and even helping him out in the process, and says, "Thanks, Jin. I really appreciate it." And he says, "Of course, brother. I've always got your back." As soon as you can't just expel her because her quirk wasn't made for something like this. You can't. She has more potential than you think. If my brother believes so, then I believe as well. With saying that, Aizawa says, "Okay then, I won't expel her. She can stay in the class. However, I'll be keeping my eye on you, Kyokujiro, since now Midoriya has high hopes for you. Both Midoriyas do." As she says, "Okay, thanks." Soon after, she actually goes up to Izuku and says, "Thanks, Midoriya. I really appreciate the help and standing up for me." As he says, "Well, of course, we're friends. You think I'm just gonna sit by and do nothing when I know you worked your butt off to get into this school? Come on, you know me better than that, Jiro." And she says, "I guess that's right. Guess that's true." As the two begin laughing, and everyone in the class begins thinking, I guess they knew each other from the beginning. I guess it makes sense. As Bakugo gets surprised, how the hell that nerd knows somebody outside of the school besides just me? I didn't think he even could make any friends, especially what happened. As the class goes by and everyone gets a syllabus, Izuku and Jin, alongside Kyoka, were all about to head to the train station when all three of them were stopped by Ochiko and Ida, as they said, "Hey, you're all going to the train station? Why don't we all go together?" As he said, "Sure, I don't mind. Why not?" As Jin says, "If my brother allows it, then so be it." Kyoka basically says, "Well, yeah, why not? It'll be fun." As all of them began talking and explaining why they came to UA, and as Ida was more curious about Izuku's quirk, as he says, "Midoriya, you have the quirk to absorb people's life energy. Is that true?" As Izuku says, "Yeah, I can. It's actually the main function of my quirk. The darkness thing is kind of a secondary thing that I can do with it." As he says, "I see. To many people, I guess it would be a villainous quirk, and it only makes sense that Mr. Aizawa would be, hesitant around you." As he says, but I don't drain people's life energy on purpose. Sometimes, I only do it when I need to, like for example, if a villain attack or if I need extra energy. But I hate doing it in the process." As Izuku reminds him that if he doesn't drain people's energy, he will die. But thanks to One for All, I don't think he won't be dying an early death anytime soon. As Kyoka and Jin says, "Hey, lay off Midoriya." And Jin's going, "Yeah, my brother has done great. He's a great person and kind-hearted. He would never do such a thing to anybody." As Ochiko also says, "Yeah, I believe him. He's actually pretty nice. Just because a person has a quirk that would seem like a villainous doesn't mean that they are. Come on, Ida, you can't judge a book by its cover." As Ida says, "You're right. I can't. And seeing how strong you are, Midoriya, even without doing such a thing, I can tell you must have done well to get here." As he says, "Yeah, I did." Soon after, he is reminded about Inasa, that he planned on going to UA, but was reminded about Shoto and how much, and that he is the son of Endeavor, thinking that he had something to do with Inasa not coming to UA, but just didn't want to bother about it. Soon after that, they all went their separate ways, with Jin and Izuku heading back home. Izuku says, man, today was so exhausting. As Jin says, well, at least we got out of school early, so nothing wrong with that. Soon after, Izuku saying, yeah, I guess you're right. But still, knowing that my own teacher has a hit against me just makes things even more annoying for me. As Jin says, well, if you want to be taken care of, I think I could. As Izuku saying, don't you dare, Jin, I mean it. As Jin says, I'm only kidding. I wouldn't actually do it. I'm not going to risk my future and yours in the process. And besides, I don't want mom to suffer as well. As Izuku saying, maybe the little Jin that I still do know is still in there. As says, brother, don't get it twisted, you dumbass. As the two get back home and welcomed by their mom. Soon after, the next day happens with All Might finally showing up in class 1A, as everyone is excited to seeing this. As he explains that why he's in their class for battle training, with Bakugo getting excited. Fight class. This is what I was hoping for. As All Might began explaining every details about they'll be working into a team of two, and also be having their own costumes as well. Presses a button with suitcases coming out of the walls, which is for all of the other students in class for class 1A. A couple hours later, everyone comes out of the tunnel with their costumes, and All Might says, not only you will be pros, but now you look the part. As everyone shows their costume, with Jin's costume basically being the same as his normal outfit in BlazBlue. So there's no real difference in this one. Hope you guys know. As Jin's wondering, wonder where my brother is. As Ochiko also thinks, is he taking a bit longer? As Kyoko also is worried about Izuku. As he comes out running outside with his costume being an old martial arts gi that he used to wear, and a red long trench coat with in the back being a big ass sword. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video a lot. I had a little fun doing this one with Aizawa distrusting Izuku from the beginning. I wonder, please tell me what you guys think down in the comments below, and please also like and subscribe, which helps out my channel. That said, this is Mooky signing out. Later.